I'm not ready for that yet." As if it would do me any good, I froze and gulped, scrunching my eyes shut like I'd done when I was little, and I was afraid there were monsters under my bed. Living in Massachusetts, most of us knew the legends and reports of paranormal activity in Bridgewater Triangle. It was considered one of the spookiest locations in the country, and a Halloween spot for tourists from all over. I'm not sure I ever really believed in any of the stories I'd heard, but I was looking at it from a much different perspective now. Now I knew entities existed, and so far they'd all been pretty reasonable. But that didn't mean I might not encounter an unreasonable ghost. Jarvis, you know, my misogynist boggart who lives in a crystal ball on my shelf, had spent a full evening regaling me with tales of some of the fiercer apparitions my mother had dealt with. I don't scare easily, and it's a good thing. I mean, I see dead people, right? In fact, I live for a good horror movie, and Halloween is one of my favorite times of year. But when he started talking demons and possession, my hackles reset to DEFCON. Now that I was here, in the middle of an alleged paranormal portal of some kind, ironically one I'd never visited before after living in Massachusetts all my life, and a small voice was sweetly offering to help me, I began to rethink my fear factors. Darn Jarvis and his ghost tales. Popping my eyes open, I braced myself, clenching my fists and gritting my teeth to prepare for whatever was in front of me. In the immortal words of the men from one of my favorite movies ever, I ain't afraid of no ghosts. When my eyes adjusted to the dark, it wasn't a child I was looking at, but a creature of some kind. It came up to maybe my knee, its back covered in pointy quills, but the rest of it looked like a goblin? I guess that best described it. Smooth-skinned, with ears the size of satellite dishes and a long nose resembling a dog's, whatever it was stood in front of me, its long knobby finger pointing to the left. What in all of Trolldal's was it? I was so astonished. My heart beat so hard I didn't know what to do. And it didn't help that a zillion ghosts had decided to have a gabfest. So, of course, instead of taking action, I stood there with my mouth hanging open like a complete idiot. Was this a ghost? Rooted to the spot, while Fab continued to call out my name, I cursed this stupid antiquing road trip. One I talked Fab into coming on because I wanted company on the ride. It had been all fun and games until I saw that young man in soaked footy pajamas flagging us down. About 40 minutes earlier. "I hope we find something here," I commented as we pulled up to what felt like the 100th antique store this afternoon, and I turned off my truck. I was looking for some corbels for a project I was working on in Peabody. They made amazing bookshelf holders, but I couldn't seem to find exactly what I wanted for this project, a project I dubbed rustic retro. Mixing two so completely different styles was a challenge, to say the least. Fab let her head fall back on the headrest and yawned. "Man, I hope so. I'm starving, and you promised me some lunch if I came. Now we're pushing dinner, and I see a steak in my near future. Also, I don't want to be here after dark, and that's going to happen in like less than an hour. You know how I feel about this place. Jason lives here, and I don't care if you call me silly for saying so." She shivered for effect. Fab hated anything even a little spooky, and Bridgewater was the spookiest. I grinned at her with a chuckle, giving her a poke with my finger. "Stop! Jason lives in a cabin in the woods by a lake." "Okay, so maybe it's Freddy Krueger. You say tomato, I say psycho killer with a sharp object fetish." Turning to look at her, I laughed again. "You don't really believe all the stuff they say about Bridgewater, do you?" She folded her arms over her chest and gave me a look before she rolled her eyes. "Excuse me, ma'am. Do you not see ghosts? Do you not have a little womanizing alien creature living in a crystal ball in your living room on a shelf? Do you not talk to your dead father? Ask me again if I believe in all the stories about this place." I snorted, peering out the windshield at the small dirt parking lot as I assessed the sweet little white house with red shutters.